Hi guys, Ozhound here. Welcome back to episode 10, I believe, of my playthrough series of all the mods on 1.9 for Minecraft. As you can see from my base, I have moved some things, created some things. Yeah, I spent a good bit of time obviously making these caverns and moving these items and moving conduits around. I've created some travel anchors. They're cool. I'll show you that in a minute. My wireless charger. At the moment all that's doing is charging my staff of travelling, which is another very cool item from Ndio we'll go through in a minute. But let's just show you this first. I haven't finished this stuff off. I've got to put conduit facades and stuff around here, but let's go up top first. I'll show you that up there. Might have to sleep actually. There are monsters nearby. Yeah. Creepers, great. Damn it. Okay. Fix that up, then we'll be back. Alright guys, we're back. I've fixed up what that creeper damaged. Now getting back to what I wanted to show you, I've got a built an Ndio farming station and put a maximum upgrade in here, up the top here. At the moment it's not being fed with fertilizer because it's accomplishing what I need. But yeah, that's a huge way to produce a lot of wood very quickly, more so than the other farmers. I've still got that because I still wanted to maintain the leaf munchers, which I've converted to floating leaf munchers, and that's a case of using some of the pasture seeds from Botania and just the dirt and the flour that you want to convert, and that allows them to float above. I don't believe that these trees underneath here actually do grow at all, but there's plenty of other ones around there that will grow. So I'm out of iron again. This is now full of wood. Okay, so I got sick of trying to keep up with pumping coal into my the coal power generators all the time. So what I've done, I've upgraded this capacitor to a just a normal capacitor. It is not a basic capacitor. It holds 5 million RF, and I've decided to use the advanced generators mod. So what I'm doing here is I'm drawing the wood straight into a crafter to create wooden sticks to put back into the mining station here, or the farming station. Now rubber tree sapling got in there. No, it doesn't matter. And that will pull out apples and the oak saplings into a basic drawer with a void upgrade on there. So when that gets full, it gets the 8 stacks, which you can see from the saplings already. It'll simply just keep drawing the items into the chest or into the drawer, and it will just destroy them, because otherwise I'll have hundreds of drawers here being continuously full up. So what the crafter does, it pulls in the wood based on a filter down here. So insert 1 oak wood on a basic filter, and then it extracts all of its items on the brown channel. There's a matching filter up there that pulls it on the brown channel. That actually is on, the wood is on priority 1. Then we've got, this probably isn't been, yeah, I moved this and I haven't set it back up properly again. So this actually needs to be reconfigured to, what's going on here? Right, in out, so insert on green priority 0, because that's green priority 1. And that's dumping, chuck all this stuff in here. And then I can chuck, what you'll see is that when I put, I'm putting the saplings in there, but it's not increasing, it's still at 8x64 because it's just dumping them into the void. Right, so now that I've rectified that, this is a Syngas producer, and what this does, it creates a gas for the gas turbine controller or generator to run from. These are very cool. They're capable of producing a lot of power for relatively cheap. So we have a look at the advanced generators. So with the gas generator, let's start with the Syngas controller. You need a Syngas controller, obviously, which is pressure valves, which is iron tubing, which is very easy, basic to make. Iron frames are easy for iron ingots. Redstone iron wiring is simply the same as the iron tubing, but with 4 redstone. The control circuit is simply nether quartz surrounded by basic materials, and that makes your controller. Now your controller, you can see from the JAI pop up here, you can have up to 10 heating chambers. You can have a redstone control module. Haven't played with that yet, but I'm assuming you can turn the Syngas production off and on. Fluid output valve, that's how you export your Syngas. Sensor module, not sure. I would assume it can detect levels of the Syngas and then stop or create or do something, not sure. Item input port, you need to get your combustible material in somehow that way. Mixing chamber is directly related to the heating chamber. The wiki states that your best efficiency is 5 mixing chambers to 1 heating chamber. I've had a quick play with it, it doesn't really make a huge difference. At the moment I've got 3 mixing chambers to a heating chamber and it does just fine. Fluid intake valve, that's how you draw your water in. As you can see here, it's drawing a lot of water. So at the moment I'm producing a maximum of 3 millibuckets per tick, based on the charcoal that's being drawn into this machine. If I was to increase the capacity of this, I would need to pretty much have another alloy smelter here, because that's running with an octadic capacitor at full speed, and it's not really keeping up. I mean, it's producing a bit, which is more than my current needs, but as I scale my base up and I use more power, I'm going to have to need to increase that. So your output configuration shows you what your current output range is. You can connect several of these output valves in several spots. At the moment this is only one. No, it's on the red interface, and that's pushing Syngas into the turbines, the gas turbine. But the other items in here are your heating chambers, or sorry, let's go through your fluid intake valve. It's pretty self-explanatory. Still uses iron frames and iron tubings and iron. Your output, very similar recipe. Item outputs. Fuel tank, you can add fuel tanks to this to hold the Syngas, but I've actually opted to put that on the gas turbine controller as a buffer. You don't need it, because it has its own internal fluid buffer. Not very much, I think it's 17,000. These things increase it by about 10,000 each, I believe. I'll check that. Your heating chambers, your mixing chambers, your heat exchanger is another multi-block structure. Sensor modules, redstone controls, and that increases your efficiency on your gas turbine, but we'll get to that. Now moving on to the heart of this mod, the gas turbine controller. This, at the moment, I've got 8 bronze turbines connected. producing a total of 16 RF per tick maximum, using a 1.5 millibuckets per tick of fuel. At the moment there's Syngas in the buffer. It doesn't look like it's actually recognised the fuel tanks that I put on there, but I'll have a look at that in a minute. That's currently producing 640 RF per tick, which is actually limited by these energy conduits. These are only capable of transferring 640 RF per tick. I need to upgrade those, because at the moment I've probably got, I know I've got a net gain at the moment, but it seems to be fluctuating depending on what parts of my base are doing what. So these are the gas turbines, or the bronze turbines. I'm just going to break these and then put them back down again to see if this stuff gets registered. Yes, so now I've got 33,000. I had 1,000 before, so there must be 11,000 each. Or maybe 15,000. 15, 16. 16,000 each tank. Looks like that holds. So now that'll pump away. It's already dumped all its reservoir. So the way this goes together is very similar. You can put it in any configuration. I could do this as a block. I've done this, the turbines, as a block, and my intention here is to work backwards as I add turbines, and possibly add more tanks. Probably not add more tanks, but you know, you've still got the flux. You've got a flux generator, which is a new item as far as this goes. There is a bit of difference here. It requires redstone iron wiring, as we saw before, and it requires a power I/O module, which is a pretty simple recipe as well. So all in all, guys, the items required to make any of this stuff is pretty straightforward. I mean, they do borrow, looks like they do borrow items from different mods, Industrial Craft and Ndio, so I would say that, I'm not sure, I'm not 100% sure, but I'd say that you wouldn't be able to add power capacity to these items without one of these two mods. So that you can basically have a power cell built into these things, as opposed to having my power cell on the other side of the base, or just here. So turbines being the main component of the gas turbine generator, different types of blades make up, rotors make up their turbines themselves. So each turbine starts off with, I think it's iron. The iron turbine can produce 100 RF per tick, each turbine. Going up to, they're not really in much order here. No, gold I think is the next one. Bronze. Yeah, gold produces 150. Bronze produces 200. Steel produces 200 with 100% inertia. The inertia is probably related to efficiency. Being how easily the blades cut through the air, little resistance, something to that effect. Your enderiums, your maniliums all seem to be pretty much the same. 120% inertia and 500 RF per tick. Advanced alloys. So your blades here are created by, so this will be an IC2, pure IC2 based blade. Manilium is obviously Tinkers. Steel can be substrate, Tech Reborn, Industrial Craft 2. Gold. Where is my gold blades? The gold blades aren't showing up on here. So that's the way you make the gold blade, is you smelt the gold and the iron, so you can't make the blades themselves. Bronze, Tech Reborn, Forestry, Substratium and IC2. Quite a few options there. That's why I'm running bronze, because I've got a metric crap load of it. Vibrant turbines. Vibrant I would expect. Yep, it's the same as the other ones. And so configuring these is pretty straightforward. You put down your gas turbine controller, you put your blades down, you add some fuel tanks if you want, intake valve to draw the gas in, and then a flux generator to output power. So what I'm going to do now is upgrade this line to the enhanced energy conduits. Which requires energetic alloy. Some binder. 1, 2, 3. I think that's 4. Let's just go with that. These won't actually interface with each other. So where there is a connection, I actually need to, well, in its basic sense, is put a capacitor there. Now, so that's pretty cool too, where I've got the might move that capacitor down into the floor. Yeah, but I painted this glass in the painter. This is a chisel pattern on a conduit facade, and worked beautifully. So that was good. Yeah, I think I'm going to put this here into the floor so I can run these powers in from several different directions. So my standard conduits in there. Standard conduits in there. Let's just reset that to there. And just put some of the enhanced out of here. And we should see that now is smashing out 1600 RF. Oh, well, that was a bit stupid. So 640, why is that still only 640? Probably because I cleared the buffers. Well, it's full now, so it's not going to output anything. Might just break that and put it down. That might be a bug that's hung around because it had a different power connector set to it before I started stuffing with it. No, it's still saying that there's something else connected. Bottom. It's very interesting. So I guess the moral of the story here, if you don't want that to happen, is to ensure that you connect your cable and don't change it, because that looks like it's stuffed. Bit of a bug. Right, so in any event, that will have the effect of increasing our capacity, which is what we want. Just want to paint some of these facades up so I can place them down. did make a facade with that chisel stone, but it doesn't, connected textures don't work, so it just looks like a normal block, which is unfortunate, but I'll make some more of those facades. Just standard conduit binder, which I don't think I've got a hell of a lot left. Might have to get some more of that happening. Which I believe is just binder composite. I think that's yeah, okay, should be able to make some of that, I would think. No, I'm out of sand. Guy's gonna go get some sand so I can make some more of this. I'll be back. Okay guys, we're back. Got a couple of stacks of sand very quickly. Broke my excavator, but that's fine. I'll fix that in a second. Well, that worked before. Now it doesn't. That's what I hate about this. The interface between the Ndio and the storage drawer doesn't work very well. Alright, let's go and cook some of this stuff up. I'll set these up so they are they're part of the full automatic grid now, so I've got a chest here which I just can dump anything in, and that'll sort. What it'll do, it'll push any legitimate ores, very similar to the filter that was on the miner, into a chest down underneath here, and then that chest will filter back up into here, the qualifying ores. What this is supposed to do is push, that's supposed to be pushed back into the storage drawer network. I don't know why it's not doing that. Let me have a look quickly. Output on brown. Extract on brown. Maybe, I don't know. That's supposed to pull, it's because I've broken the network there by putting that there. Okay, let's just fix that up, and that should start to pull out of there. Yep. Alright, that's starting to push stuff back into the network. Well, that was a bit silly. Alright, let's go paint some conduits. Need some stone. We'll be back when those finish cooking up. Alright, those are done. Let's go and cover up some of these ugly cables. Gonna need some more, I think, but what my intention was to hide those things over there behind the wall, so need some more. That should be alright for the moment. I need to go get some more of that glass. Just should be in this bag. Still getting zombies coming up, spawning from somewhere. I'm gonna make a RF monitor or something to that effect. And just put it on top of there, I think. Yeah, let's do that now. RF monitor, which I think it is an Ender IO. There we go. Power monitor, graphical power monitor. I don't want the graphical one. Just want this one here. We need a conduit probe, and everything else is pretty self-explanatory. Insulated redstone conduit, redstone alloy. I believe I've got some of that. Does it have to be stained glass, or can it just be normal glass? Yeah, just normal glass. I've got a comparator. I don't know. No, I don't have a comparator. Let's make ourselves one of those. Yes. The reason I'm putting it here, not back into the network, is because there seems to be a delay between the network, the storage drawers network, I don't know, releasing current information to the inventory panel, and that working. So I keep it in my current inventory, and then it can pick it up when I go and do a crafting recipe. So machines, I don't have any of those, although I have had that in there before, so I'm not sure if this will actually work. I think I've got a lot of electrical steel. I've got enough electrical steel. If I go machine, yeah, see, it hasn't recognised that I've put the machine chassis in. So let's just put that there. Let's do this. Well, that's interesting. Why did it do that? I do not know. Maybe it's got something to do with misclicks. Okay, let's go and put that on top of here. Now we can see that we've got no power in our conduit storage. That's for the Ender conduit, I think. Average output is 10 RF per tick. Machine buffers out of 490,000, there's 482,000. That's increasing. Our capacitor storage bank. So that gives you an overview of what your current power situation is. Now, if you had something, this is pretty cool in the sense that you can set a sensor filter, an output signal based on criteria such as 75% of full, send, a stop. So you could have a sensor module built into this, and that be connected up. So when it got to 75%, it could tell this, or got down to 75%, it could tell this to kick on. But essentially, this is a pretty efficient system, so it's not going to waste a lot of fuel. Not like your big uranium reactors where it burns through solid fuel and keeps burning solid fuel until it, even if the buffers are full, until the fuel's burnt, or something like that. There we go. That's just gone up to 720, so it can actually increase. I think that what that is that I've got the enhanced energy conduits going into the standard capacitor there, but I've got the standard ones coming out. So if one system's drawing a maximum of 640, then that's going to only output 640 to top the capacitor up, because the capacitor's full. Still got our charcoal production. That's full of axes. Should have a bit more efficient way of getting up there. Don't even know why that's there, but we'll take it out. Right, so I've got a lot of expansion possibilities now to get out here. I've moved my machines. This is a fully automated system. I've still need to somehow set up an automated miner, because I'm not really happy with this. I mean, I've wasted a lot of resources on it now, a lot of diamonds on this diamond miner, but I have to keep interacting with it, moving it. And in my eyes, that's not really something that I want to do too often. Because the diamond mine is so quick, it does punch out, it does basically strip mine very quickly. But I want to investigate something, maybe the industrial craft 2 machine. That seems to be a little bit more flexible in the way that you can add upgrades easier, and it covers a much greater distance. But guys, I might wrap it up there. Bit of a shorter episode, but that's just wanted to show you what I'd changed, which wasn't a lot. Oh yeah, I wanted to show you the travel anchors. The travel anchors themselves from Ndio are pretty cool. You basically put them down. They don't use any power by themselves, but if you're standing on them in range of another travel anchor, you can just sneak, and it will teleport you to the other travel anchor. At the moment I don't have any in range because I'm actually using the staff of travelling, and that's just a matter of right clicking. And the staff of travelling, you don't actually need to be on a travel anchor to teleport. Got my farm up here, basey, and then the mining base. So the travel anchors are relatively expensive in their prohibitive early game, but mid game, where I'm at now, we've got access to most of the materials, are not too bad. Just trying to see it here. There we go. So this is pretty easy. Iron conduit binder, pulsating crystal requires diamonds and ender pearls, so that's not too bad. The staff of travel is the same sort of deal. Dark steel, ender crystals are created from binding vibrant crystal with the enderman soul. So that's not too bad. So essentially you need 2 vibrant crystals for a travel anchor and a staff of travel. And that allows you to get around very quickly. There's also some unique effects for the staff of travelling. You can shift right click and it will teleport you. Be very careful, do not shift right click straight up into the air, otherwise you will fall to your death, which I found a bit earlier. I've cleared some space here for a farm because I stripped all of my sugar cane and wheat and potatoes to put this down. But yeah guys, that's it for the day. Thanks for watching. Please like the video, subscribe for more videos, and we'll see you in the next episode. Cheers.